Now, episodes like these really make me happy as a manga reader for Attack on Titan, because when I was first reviewing Season 2, it was so hard not to call Historia Historia, because at that point her name wasn't revealed, and there's so many moments with this season that I have to really be careful. There's been a couple of times that I had to cut out because I actually dropped a spoiler piece of information. So I'm just happy that an episode like this happened, because it's revealing things that are crucially important. And this episode is a great example of why I've always loved the Uprising arc. When the Uprising arc was first introduced in the manga, people following monthly, they just had this distaste because it was so different and it was less action oriented. There was still some great action, but it was much more politically focused and character driven. And I've always loved it. Now over time, the Uprising arc has gotten more popular among manga fans, but this episode is such a great example of why Attack on Titan is so great, because it's more than just fighting titans. It's this deep political kind of questionnaire of what's going on, and I love how you really understanding why it is called the Uprising arc. We get the backstory of Historia and exactly what happened with her family life, and to put it simply, it's very messed up. Her mother absolutely despised her, and I love how they actually directed it, because when I first read it in the manga, I thought it was a pretty heartbreaking moment, but actually seeing how they visually represented it, holy hell, like, you really got the emotion of, like, she never got to talk with her mother. She never got to experience a mother's love, only through a book, and her first interaction with her mother, she pushed her away, and her nose bled. The first thing she says is how she wished she never had her. But on the other hand, you do understand where she is coming from. She was used, she was a tool, she couldn't have a normal life, and ultimately her life ended up dead because of what ultimately happened with her. It's so heartbreaking to see what happened to Historia and how they detailed it, and how they're revealing the royal family bloodline, and how the current political power is a phony and a fake. And based on what we learned with Erwin in this episode, if you question the authority that is this government, if you try to dig up their secrets to figure out why their history books are fake and why they're hiding the truth behind the walls, you'll ultimately get killed, which is what happened to both not only Historia's family, but also Erwin's father. And I love this episode because it's really laying out the groundwork for this arc in the first half of this season. Erwin has always been one of my favorite characters in Attack on Titan, because it was around this point in the manga, actually, that he started to become someone I was really interested in, because Erwin, though he may not have the most insane personality, maybe he doesn't draw attention like someone like a Levi or a Mikasa, but he's the most grounded and important character for a good chunk of the manga, in my honest opinion, and he will be for the anime as well. And the reason for that is because even though he may not make the decisions that are the most popular or the things that are going to draw the most affection towards him, he generally makes the decisions that are the most important and will get the job done. And I love how he does take one for the team. I love how he does put Hange as the new leader of the Survey Corps, because he has to take one for the team, but also he will avenge the death and the wrongdoings that is going on here. And I love the idea that he is going to overthrow a government and put Historia in charge, and his plan, if it goes successfully, no one will have to die. He just sparks this sort of like, you want to follow him into battle and he will get the job done, and he's willing to die to get the job done. And I love that about a character, and that's why he's so rootable as the series goes on. You really draw towards him and think like, this dude is just the best. I also love how they are dropping the information about what makes a Titan shifter. How can some people turn into a Titan and turn back into a human? And the idea that Eren is just this vessel who has the ability to control the Titans, as we saw last season, and how essentially that's what they want to do. They want to eat Eren, turn someone into basically a shifter that can use his ability. I love that the information is being dropped, so you're getting a better idea of like, what is this draw to Eren all along? Obviously you knew he had this insane power last season, but exactly what's the point of eating Eren has now been revealed. And this episode overall, like, it was just great. Seeing the torture scene kind of get wrapped up here, you know, just seeing Sans like want to just strangle his comrade, realizing that he's the one who actually betrayed his king, no one else did. It's so great with what they're able to detail. Like, visually, I think this is the best looking season of Attack on Titan. I love how it mirrors the manga designs a bit better, but also just how they're using lighting and expressing things. It's so damn gorgeous. This is the best looking anime of the season, in my honest opinion. Not just with, like, when you're in the more Levi heavy action scenes, but just how it looks standing still. It is so damn beautiful, and how they're bringing to life one of my favorite arcs in the manga. I couldn't be happier. I love the detail to emotion. I love how people who may have thinking it was just some shonen series where a dude's gonna scream about his mother being eaten and he's gonna kill all the Titans. It's not that. That is a drive. But it's this much more deep, political rooted series where there is corruption, there is sabotage. Who can you trust? Who can you really believe will get the job done at the end of the day? And who ultimately is the good guy and the bad guy? Because everyone is presented in a good or bad light depending on perspective. And I love that about Attack on Titan. I love how it isn't just this action series. This is a very deep and complex world that as the series goes on, more questions get answered, but more questions will be brought up. And like currently with the manga, I still don't know everything that's going on, but that's what I love about it, because there's so much going on here that it feels like a real, live, breathing world with so much detail and emotion. And as the series goes deeper, you see what Isayama, the manga, kind of planned for. You're seeing like, oh, back in season 2 days, this is what he was setting up for 3 seasons down the line. I love that about the series, and I love how deep it actually is. I really don't have a current complaint with this season of Attack on Titan. Some people have complained about the pacing being a bit more fast-paced, but it just felt to me like they were getting the intro stuff to be in your face, but then they would take it a bit more slow as the remaining chapters for this arc would go down. But I've always said this, I don't really care if it's a page-for-page adaptation, I just want it to be damn good, and for people who've never read the source material to get the full picture, and currently they're doing a damn fine job of that. Overall, this was a great episode. I just love the idea of having the motherly love with Historia, and it's really not a motherly love whatsoever, but then you have the father's theory that kind of built Erwin into who he is. It was so great. I love this episode overall. Definitely my favorite of the 3 so far, but let me know what you're feeling down in that comment section below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Your favorite moment? Whatever you're feeling, let me know down in that comment section below. And before you leave, be sure to like the video if you did enjoy, and if you're new, also be sure to subscribe. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.